What's up, guys? My name's Russell. Today I'm going to show you guys how to break down a chicken. So it's pretty simple. I like to get all my tools out and ready to roll. What you need to do is wash your hands first. Always have to have clean hands. Then you're going to need a clean cutting board. I like to have a damp towel beneath the cutting board so it doesn't slide when you're making cuts. After that, I like to get everything else ready. This is going to be for your finished product cut pieces of your chicken, okay? And then this is your trash bucket for all the pieces that you're not going to use and cook, which you can later make a broth to develop a soup or anything you'd like out of it. So, after that, go ahead and put some gloves on. Or just wash your hands, doesn't matter. I prefer gloves after I wash my hands, of course. Then, you will need a boning knife. Over here in my knife block, this is a standard boning knife. I believe this one's 6 inches long. I prefer German knives because they keep their edge a little longer. However, Japanese knives like this one will get a lot sharper, but will not hold their edge quite as long. So, we'll go over here and go ahead and get the chicken out of the fridge. It's just a regular standard chicken from Walmart, Tyson. Look, $5 for a whole chicken. Can't beat it. The reason it's cheaper than going and buying boneless breasts is because it takes them time and money to process their chickens at the plant. And whenever you're doing it yourself at the house, you get it done cheaper. So, what I like to do here is get this all cut open. Yeah. Always want to get them juices out. And a lot of people frown upon rinsing their chicken, but I'm not one of them people. I like to rinse my chicken because it's all slimy, it's nasty, it's been in that package for who knows how long. So I like to get it all nice and rinsed off. Cold water always. You always want to keep your chicken as cold as possible. When it starts to get warm, bacteria starts to grow. It's never good. Usually these whole chickens, they come with what's called the giblets inside. Nasty stuff. Pull that out. I never like that, okay? After you do that, rinse it off. Kind of just shake it, get the extra water off. Bring it over to the cutting board. You can either use a towel that does not have fibers on it that will get onto the chicken, or a paper towel. I prefer a paper towel. Kind of just pat it, get it all dry. This is going to create it from sliding on the cutting board, which is ultimately going to make your cuts more precise, okay? So, after you get that all done like that, like so, what you do is, okay, so I always like to cut these side skins first. I would always like to get as much skin on the breast as possible, so I make an incision right there. Bring that down into there. Both sides. Get all that nice and dry. Alright. After that, you're going to take these like this, crack them back. Get them wings flying. What that does is gets this bone broken. So then you're able to make a cut right there without cutting through the bones. So, after that, what you got to do is make one incision down the chicken. Right down that bone there. Okay? And this bone, it goes down all the way down the chicken. And this knife is perfect for this sort of cut because you can ride that bone all the way down. And your goal is to get as much meat off of this chicken as possible, okay? So we're going to slide this down like that. Okay. After you get that cut, some people prefer to cut the wings. Crack the wing like that. cut that off. You got a wing right there. That's ready to roll. Put that on your finished pan. Okay. So if you want to keep this bone intact, which a lot of like fancy restaurants that you go out to, they'll keep that intact. They call it an airline breast. And what that does is creates more appeal to whenever you get that piece of chicken. So in order to get that airline bone, you got to feel down in there to that joint right in there and cut right past that. Ooh. All right, that is one breast right there. See how the skin's kind of not covering that whole breast? It's not the best thing to see. I always like to have the skin hanging off, but this will do. So we're just cooking at home here tonight, guys. So if you want that airline breastbone to be appealing, make an incision right at the bottom of the joint there, and then take your knife and scrape it. What that will do, just like that, and then you can either pull it off like that, or you can scrape it. Doesn't matter. This I always throw out. You can cook it if you want, little chicken bite, but I always put it in the container I make my broth out of, or stock, whatever you prefer. And kind of clean this up. That goes in the broth bucket. Let's kind of just clean that up a bit. Okay, so that right there is your airline breast. And when you go to cook this, say you have your girlfriend over and you want to impress her, you can, whenever you go to roast this in the oven or fry it, you can wrap foil around this and make it tight. And this will keep that bone very white. If you don't, it tends to turn brown. A lot of restaurants, that's what they'll do to make the plate more appealing. However, if you're just cooking at home, it doesn't matter. So place this over here. I mean, if you want to, you can put ice below this to keep your chicken cold. Not too antsy about it, because I know it's going to get into the fridge sooner or later. Well, sooner than later. So we'll go ahead and take this other one off. The wishbone is in there. You can dig those out if you want, but I kind of like to just cut around them. If you're doing like a food competition or something, a lot of the judges, they'll want that wishbone like out and completely clean. But like I said, if you're just cooking at home, it doesn't matter. So you can get that out there, slice all that skin off, and you're left with your wing again. Make the incision right at the joint. Pop that joint. Bam, there's your other wing. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Then this bone right here, the wing bone, I think it's more of like the elbow kind of. Well, this is the elbow, this is like the shoulder. So you kind of make an incision, see what you're cutting here, and slowly get through it. Find that space between the bones, the socket right there, and get in there. Just like that. You can leave that on if you want. The other one doesn't have it. Depends on what you're going for. I mean, it's meat, you can eat it. Go ahead and cook it if you want. After that, you're gonna want to get these wings off. So yeah, you crack that bone there, make an incision. And on the back of the chicken, there's two muscles right there. Those are considered the most tenderest part on the chicken. So what you want to do is cut right around that and get them muscles out of there. Sometimes you can dig in there with your finger and separate it. Just like so. Bam. This is the thigh, this is the leg. After that, there's a special place right here where the bones come together that you can cut right through this. A lot of people, they'll sit there and saw at it, dull your knife cutting through the bone and whatnot. If you feel it, you can feel it. And typically it's right by this fat line. Just go right in there. Bam, like that. See, it went right through the socket there. So, your leg. And you got your thigh. Skin intact, everything. Perfect. Let's kind of get this all laid out a little better. Okay. Same thing with the other side. Fold it back. Feel that little muscle there. That's what you want to get. And then another way you can do it, people rip them. Just like that. Flip it over, find your special spot to cut. Boom. Just like that. This goes in your broth bucket. So here we have 2 breasts. These are airline breasts because the bone is intact. If you want them boneless, you can always cut that off. 2 thighs, 2 legs, 2 wings. That's how I do it, guys. Thanks for watching.